Steve. You know, listen, it's great to have you here. As you look at this series right now, what do you see unfolding tonight?
Well, for me, Stephen A., you got to look at the health of Tony Parker. You know, he is the stir that stirs that cup for the San Antonio Spurs. He's the reason why you got to get your feet in the paint, either by a post-up player or somebody with penetration. If he can't do that, it puts a lot of onuses on Manu Ginobili, who's been struggling health-wise. So then you don't get a chance to hit a lot of open threes. But what you love about the Spurs, what I say right now is the system, defensively and offensively, are beating the Miami Heat right now.
What specifically are they doing to neutralize LeBron? Because I went on the air and I said yesterday and the day before, they're basically zoning him up. You've got a man in his face, man to man, but the second he gets into the paint, there is a wall of individuals that collapse on him. What specifically are they doing to neutralize him?
Well, Stephen A., first of all, defensively, one-on-one, you got to give Kawhi Leonard a lot of credit. Right. He's doing an excellent job. I mean, a young fella staying in front physically. There's nobody can match him, but you can bother him the first line of defense. And then the second, you have Tim Duncan, smart basketball players defensively. You have Greg Popovich, who's designed the system of saying, you have to beat us with your jump shot. You talk about LeBron James, the MVP winner. They're going under screen and rolls, basically free throw line and under. Him and Dwayne Wade, you have to take that shot. You got to be aggressive.
So, as you go under screens, you are daring LeBron James to shoot jump shots. This is shades of the 07 finals when obviously Popovich just said, LeBron, if you can make those shots, you will win. And they got swept, obviously, as the Cavalier. How many of those shots do you believe LeBron can make tonight? He was 2 for 14 outside the paint in Game 3.
You know, Skip, I think it's a mindset. He hasn't been the greatest shooter. He's improved, but I think it's a mindset. It's been a hesitation from LeBron James coming off screens. You know, should I drive? Should I pass? And I think that's what we all understand. He's one of the best all-around players. But you have to set the tone on what the Miami Heat needs to beat the San Antonio Spurs. And that's first, scoring the basketball. Then second, letting the defense dictate if you become a passer.
Here's where I'm lost. And Skip makes a valid point, but here's where I'm lost. I don't understand how somebody who has improved in every critical shooting category, whether it's free throws, whether it's jump shooting, whatever the case, maybe three-point shooting, how is it that you get to this series against San Antonio and suddenly you're a bit reluctant or indecisive when that has been the last thing you've been this season? Where did that come from? Was it because of Dwayne Wade and his comments in the aftermath of Game 6 to Indiana Pacers? Or is it something else involving San Antonio?
Stephen A., for me, San Antonio, a lot has to do with it. But I think, first of all, is LeBron James. I mean, he keeps hearing about the media. I don't have to take over basketball games. I'm going to let the game come to me. You can't do this right now. You have to come out and stamp your imprint on this game, and that's scoring the basketball. And I look at it as the greatest players in this game, especially LeBron James. Even if you're not scoring the basketball, you have to dominate in the area. And for me, also, his body language. I think his body language would be better. His body language was better yesterday, going through the press conferences. He's focused now, but we got to see him in attack mode.
All right, who wins Game 4 tonight?
Well, I got the Miami Heat winning Game 4. They're the desperate team. Whenever you're the desperate team, you're going to come out and play. The health of Tony Parker is definitely an issue for me, and I don't think I love Danny Green. I picked Gary Neal to have that type of game. They will not shoot the three ball as that effective as they will in Game 4.
I'm of the mindset that if Miami loses, that Miami's going to win this game as well. Because if they lose this game, this series is a wrap in Game 5. Tony Parker or no Tony Parker. You can't be in a 3-1 hole and still have a Game 5 in San Antonio.
If the Heat loses this game, they might not get back to Miami.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my opinion. They might not get back if you lose this game.
Okay. What if Tony Parker, God forbid, is lost tonight? What if he tries to go and it tears or pulls, which is highly possible?
Then they can lose tonight.
Okay, then what happens the rest? Are you all Heat all the time from there on?
Well, you got to look at it. You're losing your best player for the Spurs. No disrespect to Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. If they can't have Tony Parker, I think this is a Heat series, because then you start talking about LeBron James clearly is the best player in this series. But I think also, you can't stop Popovich. You can't give those guys, look at the edge what they had last time when they played the Heat in the beginning of the year. They had no stars and they almost won that game.
Skip, Steve, I'm of the mindset like this. Even if Tony Parker gets hurt, tonight is the series for San Antonio. I mean, for Miami. If you lose this game,
without Tony Parker,
I'm trying to say, if they lose the game. If they lose the game. Now, obviously, if you lose Tony Parker during the game, Miami can win the game and changes the series. But if you escape with Game 4, if you're San Antonio, I think the momentum is just too great even for Miami to overcome.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you the truth. If the Spurs win tonight and Parker is lost, I'm going to be watching the last 3 games like this because I don't know if they can get it home without him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
My point is, can you get it? See, to me, Game 5 would be of urgency because obviously you don't want to go back to Miami if you're San Antonio.
You're saying without Tony Parker.
I'm saying you got to find a way.
Tony Parker, I don't think they can win this series.
I agree, but even if they're up 3-1 is what I'm asking.
No, I still don't think they
Really?
can.
That's what's come back. And that's where I disagree. And that's where I disagree.
Who do you have winning the series as of now?
I picked the Miami Heat in 6.
Oh,
when we
you did?
started. Yes,
Okay.
I picked the Miami Heat in 6. And the reason why is I thought the big 3 of San Antonio Spurs were more beat up than the Miami Heat. But I think if you look at the San Antonio Spurs, if they win this championship, you got to give credit to Chicago Bulls and the Indiana Pacers because they beat and took their legs away. And that's the reason why you can see Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, they don't have a lot physically.